All right, Betty, the visualization at the beginning is okay. It's not compelling, but we know what the subject area is. I thought you did have a very clear statement of what your thesis is, and I'd agree with John that the organization was very clear. You did a good job of signposting throughout the speech and trying to keep track of where we were at any given point. At the end of the speech, for instance, I thought you had a very solid summary and a very clear exit line reminding us about what the theme is that you were talking about. On some of the other arguments, I think you need a lot more information. You have some data at the beginning about the number of kids available for adoption, but after that, everything seems very conclusionary and vaguely described. For instance, at one point you talk about, well, why would you spend thousands and thousands of dollars for in vitro processes that may not work? And then later on you're telling us that it's $18,000 to $25,000 to adopt, and I'm not sure that you've given us much basis for suggesting that one is superior to the other. You don't have any particular examples here. Maybe the adoption attorneys might be able to offer you some expert testimony that would have supported this. I just thought that there's a lot of conclusionary stuff in your material. You mentioned, for instance, the time period for adoption, 6 to 18 months, and you say it's a pretty sure thing. And I'm wondering where that came from also, because I'm not sure. Now, everybody, of course, has probably heard different kinds of things, but you know, again, the 6 to 18 months sounds a little iffy to me based on some things I've heard in other contexts. That doesn't mean that it's not a true statement, but it would be a lot more compelling if I knew where you came up with that information. Also, I have to study and take a test to become an adoptive parent. I think you need to tell us a little bit more about that. What is this home study process? Is it just going through the legal process, what the procedures are in order to be able to adopt, or is it about how to raise a child and what your obligations are in that situation? That's a little unclear. Toward the end of the speech, when you're talking about some of the problems that might be faced with people who are adopting, I think that you get off on a few tangents. For example, one of the reasons that people might want to adopt, that seems like it would be better discussed early on in the speech, maybe even as a precursor to your thesis statement. On presentation issues, I think you do a very good job speaking to the audience. I'd agree with John on those points. I thought you did look at us for the most part, and you sounded pretty sincere. Most of the time when you were speaking, it was clear and easy to follow. Sometimes it did seem a little bit like you were sort of just running through the ideas, but then later on, it again seemed a little more sincere and involved. All right, thank you.